Welcome to Layer the Alchemist, where we discuss all things heavy metal and hard rock. On today's episode, another in my series of what I call American Steel. This is where I put the spotlight on some underground, more obscure 80s US metal bands that I think you should check out. So the band that I picked for today is one of my favorite underground 80s US metal acts and one of my favorite albums from that era, Halloween. Don't Meddle with Evil. Yes, Halloween, not Halloween, not the band Halloween. This is Halloween from Detroit, and this is their 1985 album, Don't Meddle, M-E-T-A-L, with Evil. They also got here Detroit's Heavy Metal Horror Show. This is an absolutely killer old school classic US metal album. It features Brian Thompson on vocals. He's got a great, nice, clean vocal range, great melodies, awesome lyrics. Rick Craig on guitar. Probably my favorite thing about this album, his guitar playing is just fantastic. I've mentioned how Randy Rhoads, I'm a big fan of his, and I hear a lot of Randy Rhoads and Rick Craig's playing. His guitar tone is just excellent, man. It is just pure like 80s steel. And he's always got these cool riffs, and he throws in a lot of like guitar licks and fills when he's jamming on his riffs, and that's something that I always love when guitar players do that, when they're jamming on a riff and they just throw in a really cool fill, and he does that all over this record. He's got a lot of awesome solos, awesome guitar sound, killer riffs, a real highlight of this album for me. George Neal on bass and Bill White on drums, a solid rhythm section. Their sound is classic 80s metal, real traditional metal. The songs are really catchy. The album is really well produced. I want to show you here, read for you on let me show you the back cover of the record here. And I got to show you the guys in the band here, because this is just, how cool is that? I love it. And they actually have a couple of like scripted videos that they made back in this time, and there's one of them for the song. Let me see, what was it for? I believe it was for. What a Nice Place, I believe is the song that they have a really cool scripted video for. So I will try to leave a link for that below in the description. If I'm unable to leave a link, look it up and you will find it on YouTube. But I'll try to put the link below. But I want to read for you what it says on the back here in the credits. It says, "Warning, this record contains a backwards message." Yes, back in the day when like there was all the uproar about, secret hidden messages and bands, albums and stuff. And then it says, "Second warning, do not copy this record or the full curse of the law will be upon you." I love it. So, again, this is just an old school classic 80s metal. The songs are super catchy. That's what, for me, of course, I'm a lover of the riff, but if there's no songs there, it doesn't work for me. Riffs alone aren't enough. I need to have good songs for me to really consider it like a favorite. And this album just has great songs all over it. I love it. It starts with Busted and Scared to Death. These are two just kind of fast, fist in the air kind of metal numbers. Justice for All is the third song, and it's a kind of a metal ballad, an old, classic metal ballad, like acoustic, clean guitars in the verses. Then it gets heavy in the chorus. Then Trick or Treat starts off with it's like a spoken word thing, like with kids, the sound of kids, knocking on a door, trick or treat. This is another one that they have a video for, like a scripted video for, that's really, really cool. And they were a band that, you saw on the cover here, the Detroit's heavy metal horror show. You know, as you saw in the picture, they sort of dressed up, and in these videos are just great. They've got fire bombs going off. They've got, you know, lights and pictures of headbangers in the crowd. Just an old school classic, great video. The Wicked Witch, really cool one. Tons of fast riffing. I love the lyric, the Wicked Witch of Metal is going to make you pay. Yes. Let's see here. And then the last song on side one, Don't Meddle with Evil. I love it. The chorus in it is so catchy. It's one of these things you hear it once and it just sticks in your head. I also love to, I don't know if I mentioned the production. It's produced by the band. The production is great. You can hear all the instruments. The guitar sounds particularly great, like I mentioned earlier. But there's a little thing that they do. It's at the end of almost every song where, like, the last thing that the singer sings, Brian Thomas sings, they put this, like, delay on it. So it's like, don't meddle with the evil, evil, evil. You know, it just sort of goes out. Almost every song ends like that, where whatever the last word he sings, it just, the song cuts and then it just echoes and repeats a couple times. I think it's just really awesome. Side two starts with What a Nice Place. This is the other one that I believe they had the video for. Killer vocals in this one. Man, killer hooks, just really catchy melody lines for the verses and the chorus. Let's see here. Haunted Melodic is a mid-tempo one. She's a Teaser is fun. Tales from the Crypt is awesome. A great classic metal. To Fight the Beast, the album ends with that, and these are just all rippers here. You know, reminiscent at times of like Diary of a Madman era Ozzy. But again, the melodies are just really catchy and just great playing from everybody, especially the guitar. So this is an old school metal US classic that if you've never heard this one, you have to check it out. I was inspired to do this video from my good friend over at Ruthless Metal. You've heard me talk about Ruthless Metal a bunch of times. If you haven't checked out his channel, I'll leave a link below. It is awesome. It is my favorite metal channel out there on YouTube right now. He's a great guy, and he's helped me out with my YouTube page, with the intro. He did the intro for me, that little video intro, my little avatars and thumbnails and stuff. He's helped me out with all that stuff. So he's a super cool and a super nice, talented guy. So shout out to Ruthless Metal. Thank you. Keeping the steel alive. Check out his channel. And he had did a list of 10 US metal bands you need to check out, like more obscure metal bands, and he had this band in there, and I was just like, yes, yes, because I love this band. I don't know why they never got more popular. Unfortunately, maybe it might have been because the album was on an independent label called Motor City Metal. So I'm guessing that this was just a small label that, you know, maybe it wasn't able to push the band like they needed. I think they tried to do an album after this, and it didn't get released right away. It eventually did get released, and they do have a couple other albums out, but for me, this is the one that really jumps out at me. The great guitar playing from Rick Craig. He went on to be in a band called Sleepy Hollow, and he had a few other bands. He played with the MC5, I think, for a little bit, and with Humble Pie. So just an amazing player and an amazing band. If you haven't heard these guys, please check them out. Old school classic metal. All right, let me know in the comments if you guys have heard of Halloween. Let me know what you think. If you haven't, check them out with the link I'm going to leave below, and then get back to me with a comment and tell me how much you love them. All right, so leave some comments down below. Check out Lair the Alchemist on all the social medias. Check out Ruthless Metal. Keep the faith alive, and until we see you again, make sure you stay heavy, stay metal.